Hey, Bruce Kittle here, Hidden Pearls podcast with the studio. I'm sitting here with George frickin' Kittle.
Hi.
Anyway, we are in Cali. George is now, what is it, day 8, 9?
Week 2 of training camp.
Week 2 of training camp. And so we're rolling into the fall season of the NFL, and we are really excited about it. I've had the great fortune, made a couple practices, very fun. I want to thank Coach Shanahan and John Lynch and the crew for letting me walk around like I kind of know something about football, even though what they're doing is way over my head. But anyway, it's really fun.
Bruce has, so at 49ers training camp, I'm sure some of you have been to 49ers training camps. There's places, there's like seating for everyone in the crowd that's watching practices. Bruce refuses to go to seats, and he just walks around like he knows what he's doing, which to his defense is really smart because people just let him do what he wants. So if you see this muscular man walking around at practice, he's there for a reason. He's my dad. So you can wave to him. He's usually pretty nice. He's probably pretty focused on football. But yeah, no, it's been awesome just to have him out there the last couple of days to just see you in between plays and stuff like that. It's always really fun, and you can tell you're having a good time out there.
Oh, it's so fun. Yeah, great vibe. Just fun to have football back in. You know, it's just like I've had parts of my life where I've been in and out of it every day, and not that way right now because we kind of get a break and all that. But it's really fun. The energy's great, and just being in camp and pulling a team together and all the things that go with it. So anyway, so that's really cool. So let's jump back.
Let's rewind.
Yeah, well, a little bit.
So Hidden Pearls rewind.
Anyway, we're doing a little rewind. So OTAs back in middle of June, you got out.
Yeah.
So we had a bunch going on. I know there was tight end you had KFest. You went to a very fancy wedding.
I did.
And in the same time frame, you've been kind of trying to get yourself back physically and all that kind of stuff. So just maybe take us through that. But I kind of want to end up in reporting to camp because it was July 24th? 23rd. So, which felt like a week earlier than normal, but I don't know.
It does feel like that. I think my first training camp ever was like July 30th.
Yeah.
They just keep bumping it up on us.
Yeah. Owners. Anyway.
Sneaky.
But, well, just tell us how your summer went. So I think everybody's aware that you had a little bit of nip and tuck on the surgical side of things.
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
So how was that? How's the body and the recovery? Because, who mentioned, I can't remember who it was, but, I think it was Dustin, but I can't remember. Somebody in the Niners staff, though, that was walking around just chatting, and they said we're one of, I think there's only 4 teams, maybe not even that many, but we played 20 games in each of the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, it's a lot of football.
It's a lot of football, and it's a late season because otherwise people are done like second week of January.
First week of January, yeah.
Yeah, and then here you are going to third week of February, and that month just takes a lot out of you.
No, the one thing that's crazy about that is like while we're on our bye to play the winner for the divisional round, which ended up being the Packers. We're on our bye, and I just see all these. I saw these NFL guys who aren't in the playoffs getting surgeries.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, well, I know I'm going to have to get surgery at some point. It's just I don't know when that's going to be at this point. But that's a weird experience just watching their rehab is starting. They get that month ahead to make sure their body's feeling good by the time they get back to OTAs or training camp, whatever it is. It's just like, that's a weird feeling. Like I'm still playing football and 70% of the league is done.
Yeah.
That's what the playoffs are though every single year. Cause I've been on the done side, I've done that 3 times. I've been in the playoffs 4 times. So would much rather be in the playoffs, obviously.
No complaint there.
No complaint there. It's just an odd, to look online and like I have friends who are like, yeah, no, I just got my ankle scoped. I just did this. I'm just like, oh wow, well, hey, good luck to you. Enjoy your time.
We're also on vacation, hanging out and getting their body back. So anyway, just a reality, and that's part of why it is so hard to continue to repeat because the body and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, OTAs, and then
yes,
you went back, didn't do a whole lot there.
Nope, just rehabbed and recover type of stuff. Just get my legs back underneath me, getting my core back intact.
There's a lot to that. Although we know, we've kind of, once you got into that, there's a lot of people that that have had the same surgery through the same people.
Yes.
And have all rebounded pretty well. And it's typically, I think you said a 6-month recovery.
Yeah. Everyone said they're like, after they reattach stuff, they're like, hey, like it is healed, and like there's like it's not going to re-tear after like between 6 and 8 weeks is what they say. And I wouldn't say that you're cleared to go, like cleared. Some people are, depending on like the level of like how much is torn and stuff like that. But everyone I talked to was like, yeah, you're gonna hit 6 months, and like that's when you're gonna start feeling like yourself again. Right. Like no matter, like that's when you don't feel like the weird scar tissue stuff. You don't feel the.
It's like that's when you stop feeling the surgery.
To an extent,
yeah.
It's like that's when you're just gonna notice. You're just gonna notice your legs coming back. You're gonna notice that you're strong in your core again. Like you're just gonna feel more like yourself once you get to 6 months. Right. So like we just hit that 6 month mark, and I would be happy to say I do feel I feel a lot more like myself than I did a month ago. Yeah. Which is awesome because I did not feel like myself a month ago. But we're getting there, and we're every single day has just been a little bit better. Being able to let it loose just a little bit more and more every day at training camp, and so that's been fun for me.
Yeah, that's great. And I think too, I mean, you mentioned that the Coach Shanahan's been really good too about kind of moderating you, working you back in progressively.
Yeah, there's 3 guys that had core surgery this offseason, and so like the Niners do such a great job with like game planning for people. Like, hey, like there's a ramp up to the ramp up of the rest of the team, and I think they do a really good job with that. It's like we're just trying to get you to feel like you're on 100% by the time that whether it's a season or like the first couple weeks of training camp, just make it a little bit easier. So that's been awesome, and I think everyone that had to deal with surgeries this offseason, everyone's feeling great, which is awesome.
That's good.
Yeah, so that is really cool. So yeah, I mean that's training camp. Let's go back to some other fun things. We had OTAs, and then one of my favorite events of the year is Tight End U, which is awesome. We had
it was awesome.
We had 75 tight ends, 75, maybe a little bit more than that, show up. We raised a ton of money. We had awesome sponsors from Charmin to Gatorade, Bridgestone, Bud Light, Levi's.
And the musicians.
Yep. And then, so like we had awesome sponsors that put the whole thing on. We had awesome gift packages for all the players, girlfriends and wives, all that stuff. So that was really, really cool. Another great event put on by Rubicon Talent, my marketing agency. That was awesome.
The gift stuff was over the top.
Yeah, it was everyone that I talked to.
Cowboy boots. And then what's the little box, the music box that can drop in the water?
Like these little there's a name of them. There's little speakers that literally are waterproof, and you can connect a couple of them together. And you can put them wherever they want. They're pretty indestructible, so that's really cool. But yeah, Tight End U overall, awesome to always get everyone back out there. It's just fun to see the guys as they're starting to like really ramp up their training for the training camp season, because that's like the 3rd week of June. And then we were able to host our first ever Tight End U and Friends concert at the Brooklyn Bowl in Nashville, Tennessee. And we had a bunch of live performers. Some of my favorite headlines. We had Chase Rice, Jelly Roll, John Party, and that was just so cool to see them in like a small venue with a lot of people in it. And I think that was a very cool thing that we're looking forward to hopefully doing that again in the years coming.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, we had a little balcony seat, and it was like overlooking the front stage, and the music was fantastic. And then the fans who showed up, music fans and football fans, but whatever. But it was just great. It was packed.
It was really fun.
It had great energy, and they did a super job. And
oh, yeah, my guy Nate Smith was there, who's also a Niners fan. So yeah, there were so many. We had like 7 or 8 artists.
Yeah.
It was really cool. So we're looking forward to adding more to that.
Yep.
But yeah, Tight End U was awesome. Like I said, we raised a ton of money. And then immediately following, the following weekend, I was on a plane to Rhode Island with my wife, and we went to the McCaffrey's wedding. Wow. It was spectacular in all ways. I have 0 complaints. It was so fun. They did a great job, a great guest list. Just really fun, entertaining people to talk to. I really like going to weddings and just hearing everybody like, hey, how did you meet Christian? How did you meet Olivia? And like hearing how much they as a couple mean to so many people. And that's a really cool thing. Like, I love, and there's a lot of love that was shown towards them, and a lot of love from Christian and Olivia that you could obviously tell that. And so that was a really cool wedding to go to. It was beautiful. I'd never been to Rhode Island before. I knew about one person, maybe 2 people from Rhode Island, and now I know several people from Rhode Island, which is kind of cool.
Which you always like to expand your fan base.
We're expanding. I think I know 2 people from Delaware, maybe 3, a couple. But I'm still learning learning to meet people in the northeast. But yeah, no, that was awesome. We had a fun little excursion the day of the wedding. There was like this very popular clam chowder place. Like the hotel's up here, and it was like a 6-minute walk down into like the little downtown area. And Juice, Kyle Juszczyk, was like, "Hey man, you want to go?" Because our wives are getting ready. He's like, "Let's go get the ladies some clam chowder because they want some before the wedding." I was like, "Yeah, it's a great idea." And then we were just kind of walking out, and Shane Gillis was just kind of chilling there. I was like, "Hey, Shane, you want to come with?" He was like, "Yeah, I'd love to. Sounds great." And so me, Juice, and Shane Gillis are walking down. And the crazy thing is there's a lot of security at this event because obviously Christian and Olivia are both very popular people.
Yeah.
Which like the security was necessary. A lot of police officers and stuff like that. So like, which was great. But like the street is a very public street, so there's just people like all over the street, anywhere from paparazzi to just like fans. So that was very intriguing. And there is no one that excites young men quite like Shane Gillis does. Like anywhere from like 15 to 40, those guys love Shane Gillis. And it was just kind of really fun to see that interaction. Like the amount of like high school, college dads that were just like, "Oh my gosh, Shane Gillis, like what are you doing here?" Right. "Oh, hey everybody, how are you doing?" And he always wears his Notre Dame polo out, which is fantastic. Right. But just like he was super polite. We stopped a couple times, but did get the clam chowder, which was absolutely phenomenal.
I bet it was.
And then, but that was a fun experience because people they looked at Shane, and they looked at me, and they looked at you, like, "Why are you three together?" Right. And I was like, "What?" "I don't know. We're just hanging out, man. It's a wedding."
That's fun.
So that was a very enjoyable time.
That is one of the fun things about weddings, though.
You get to meet and hang out with people.
Well, just, a couple will have, different backgrounds and who they know and all that kind of stuff, and it pulls in overlapping tribes.
Yeah.
And people get to commingle that way, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a really fun part of the wedding, but yeah, overall, it was so cool. Greg Olson's a savage. He had a great time. It was fun, too. There were a lot of because Christian played for the Panthers for 5 years.
Yeah.
And 5 years, 5.5. And to meet a lot of the guys that he played with, that was a cool moment as well.
Sure. Yeah, and we didn't talk about Greg or Travis as it relates to tight end use.
But they both knocked it out of the park as always.
They were terrific. Yeah, that was really good. So
they were really good at that.
Yep, super good. So that was so fun.
So that was a wedding, and then it was wild. We went straight from that into July 4th, which is, I love July 4th. It's my favorite holiday. And we got to celebrate that on a river that my sister's property, because she was bought in Tennessee. So we had a nice river party. That was a great time. And then we went into Kittle Fest was 2 days later on Saturday.
It was quite a weekend.
It was quite a weekend. That was a Kittle County Fair. We had mechanical bull, dunk tank, carnival games, carnival food.
Inflatable axe throwing.
Yeah, inflatable axe throwing. That was fun. And then just a bunch of games, and eventually had, live music performers as well. Shout out to John Party again for showing up to that one. He's an absolute savage.
He's great.
And his wife was, 9 months pregnant?
Yep.
Like a week away from giving birth. So they showed up to that. They were phenomenal. Let's see. But yeah, Kittle Fest was a great time. If you see me in any of my Kittle County Fair gear, you'll see that throughout the season. It was fun stuff. Yeah. Let's see, what else did we do? So Kittle Fest was great. We were able to invite all of our friends and family and teammates and stuff in. You got to meet a lot of cool people. So that was really fun. And then that following evening, I was on a flight to LA for the Netflix premiere of Receivers. Which was a really cool experience. Having a camera follow you around, being mic'd up 24/7. It was cool. And I think the red carpet event was really fun.
Yeah.
Just getting to, it's funny, like you're on a show with Debo, Amon-Ra, Justin Jefferson, JJ, and Devontae Adams, but like none of us really we didn't meet at all or talk throughout the season. It's just a normal football season. So like being able to see everybody and like kind of hear how their experiences were and stuff like that. That was really cool. And I like doing fun things with my wife. It's fun to travel. It's fun to get dressed up. It's fun to be on a red carpet.
I'm just going to add in there, like if I ever have any choice to travel with anyone in the world, it is Claire Kittle.
She knows what she's doing.
Because like traveling, and you're a close second, but she plans a little better than you do. Everything goes well with you, but traveling with Claire is like just beyond, you can't even talk about it. Between hotels and the shuttles and the way she deals.
Everything's set up.
It's just bam, and it's so much fun.
It's like, here's the time, you be here at this time. Bus leaves at this time. We'll be here at this time.
Yeah.
This is at this. It's very convenient.
She
does a great job.
Yeah, she does.
Good job, sweetie.
We love Claire.
That we do. We love.
Yep. So that was really fun. Netflix that was just so cool just to be a part of, like being in the room with everybody and all that kind of stuff was so cool. And
it was really fun.
Yeah, and then you had the old Peyton Manning showing up for a little intro and that stuff. And then we saw him afterwards. He popped into the restaurant we had gone to for dinner, so that was really fun. And his wife, so.
Yeah, Peyton and Ashley are fantastic human beings.
Yeah, so that was all great.
The sheriff.
Yep. He's still the sheriff.
Still a
pretty good tag name for him. Yeah.
Oh, he's phenomenal. He can control a room, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
he's incredible. So, so just, big thank you to Netflix and also, to the Niners for allowing us to do that because I've heard a bunch of teams said, no, we don't want your, players to do that. So for Coach Shanahan and the Niners said, okay, that was a cool experience for me and Debo.
And our crew from NFL Films. Who helped
Jason and NFL Films did a fantastic job of doing all that stuff, recording, being very gracious and being very open with our timing. Like, hey, what works for you guys? We'd let them know things that worked, what didn't work. And they were always very polite, very professional, very efficient. Never seemed like they were in the way or, besides there's a scene of me getting acupuncture and there's just a camera in my face. And I'm just like, this is not usually how this goes, but it's a little awkward. That one. And honestly, one of the things about receivers that I was just kind of blown away about was, they're in the hotel room before the Philadelphia Eagles game and I'm doing my rehab stuff. And there's just a 10-second shot of my feet. And I was like, I think that's a little aggressive, but you know what? It made the show.
Yep.
So you're welcome. Anybody out there? That's so weird though. When I watched it, I was like, that's a lot of my feet, but it is what it is. Thanks. My hair gets everywhere as well.
Strand, yeah.
It gets everywhere. Yeah. So that was great. And then I had 10 more days to get ready for the season and being able just to train, run routes. We had a fantastic offseason group at the barn this year. We had 6 to 8 tight ends, 4 to 6 offensive linemen, wide receiver, linebacker, just it's a random group. And then it was fun too. So we'd have a group of 12 guys working out and then another 6 guys would show up to run routes with CJ Beathard. He'd come throw for us. And that was always really fun. And I really enjoyed those. I like working out in a team environment because my job is a team environment and to feed off each other's energy each day is great, but also to see where other guys are at and to push other guys and to have them push me. And it's just it's good to see that stuff. And I also I like to run routes with, I think I've said this, I like to run routes with Trent Taylor because he's a guy who's incredibly shifty laterally and has these insane releases. And I try to watch what he does. And while I can't do everything that he does release-wise, I have stolen some of his moves that I can then use for me. And so that's why I like to train with guys because you can take things from their game and add it to yours. And if you can make it work, you're just adding tools to your tool belt. So I think the guys really enjoyed training this offseason. The more offensive linemen, the better for me. I like that. It's really fun. And
it was a good crew.
It was a great crew.
It's really, I don't think people can, if you've been in that situation, you know it, but it's the thing about kind of the camaraderie of it, because when you go through the workouts, so we got your strength coach Josh, and when Jeremy's there doing the speed stuff, but there's a competition, but yet there's kind of a mutuality about everybody is trying to raise the level, bring their best game, which brings your best game, and so you're kind of all in that same stage. And there's along with the support, there's kind of this accountability, and I think by the time you're done with the summer there's this level of kind of confidence.
Yep.
Because you've been around really good players. People share openly and talk about this works, this doesn't work, how can we do this better? And then you practice things and all that. And it just seems when you can see guys just with the kind of, I call it the barn glow. You know what I mean? Because they leave and they're just, between the camaraderie and then of course the good food, Chef
Tyler.
Yeah, Chef Tyler.
Chef Goody.
Yeah, Chef Goody's taking care of things and the food's always great and hanging out and all that stuff. So it's really fun. That's my favorite of the whole summer. I get to come back after Tight End U and I come hang out for another
whole month. That's great.
Yeah, in July, and it's just so and that you can just feel kind of
the energy.
Yeah, and the ramp and getting ready to go and everybody's head back. So it's just I'm really honored to even be a part of that. And the barn, if you haven't seen it, and a lot of people haven't, but it is just a beautiful facility. And
it is a fantastic facility.
Shout out to our Techno Gym staffers who've helped us put the very finest equipment in there and everything, and it's just beautiful. So
it's been done really well.
It's been done really well. So anyway, So kudos to that, everybody that helped.
You know?
And your vision. You know?
I wanted a workout facility and with a football field attached to it, and look what we got.
Took us 5 years, but
I had to make some plays before I could afford that.
but anyway, it's all worked out together. So anyway, okay, now we're back in camp.
Now we're back in real time.
Okay.
Fast forward.
So
We're here.
Second week.
Second week, we just finished our third block. So we've done 5 padded practices, 5 non-padded practices. Next 3 days will all be padded practices before our first game against the Tennessee Titans.
Titans, yep.
And
that's a Saturday, right?
Saturday night football, 6 p.m. kickoff,
Yeah.
Central Time.
Okay.
Really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to this 3-day block because this is for most teams, like this is usually like the hardest ramp up because it's a lot of pads in a row. It's the most reps you've built up for all these reps. So there's a ton of plays to be made out there. There's a ton of opportunity for guys. But like these 3 practices are like the 3 most important practices because once you get through these, we have a game, and then the most practices we have in a row is 2. So like you're 1 on, you're 2 practices on, travel day, off day, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
But like you have more time.
When's the 53-day cut? Do you know?
No,
August.
I pushed that back from my memory, so I never have to think about it because it's sad.
But it's like 10 days. It's not that far out.
No, it's after the 3rd preseason game, dude.
Oh, is it after?
Yeah,
Vegas?
you can't. Yeah. It's at the very end of August.
Okay.
It's not August 15th. That'd be psycho. It's literally. Yeah, it's in like 25 days.
20. I'll look it up.
Bruce, he knows what he's talking about. But anyways, yeah. So with this 3-day block is what's most important. We're really looking forward to that.
That's probably in September, first week of September.
Yep.
All right.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be crazy.
No, but team's looking good. Offensive's clicking. Nick Bosa's still really good.
Nick Bosa's good at football.
Yeah, he's very slippery and slimy. He's a very talented human being.
Yep.
And he's really strong and handsome. Ah, damn,
That's really
man.
cool. So let's see.
Yeah.
Any positions by group that you've kind of noticed that you feel like, and not to like better than last year so much, but just like maybe have solidified that you feel good about the new personnel and all that kind of stuff. So
I just want to give a shout out to my tight end room because this is a new tight end room compared to years prior. Like I don't have Charlie Warner and Ross Dwelly in there.
very, very
we have
new.
a very new room besides 3 guys. And I know from last year we had Jake Tungus, Los Gatos native, California guy who we signed him. Was it that last year? Last year after training camp? Or maybe it was before that. No, I think it was before that. But so he's been here over a year now, and just to see the steps he's taken, Braden Wilson's come a long way. Ken Latu's he's going in the right direction. He's making some plays that he needs to be making. Yep. And then you throw in Eric Saubert and Logan Thomas in there, and like and then Mason Plan, our rookie, and it's just like it's a very new room. But I feel like the tight ends are practicing at a high level, and I've really enjoyed watching that. Like we have put together back to back stacking days of good practices as a tight end room. And I want to see that. I want it to be as competitive as absolutely possible, but it's also fun to see when tight ends get success. And like, I feel like we are a very celebratory room and we are always giving each other great energy and great vibes when we're out on a football field. So the energy has been fantastic. I'm really enjoying it.
So what are the things that go into when you call it like stacking good practices? Like when you get down at the end of the day and you thought, wow, our room did pretty well.
Very limited MAs,
Yep.
so like missed assignments.
That's
so
huge.
Hey, if you have a rookie, he's probably gonna have an MA or 2 once in a while. Totally okay. Let's not make the same mistake twice.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. My biggest thing is, did everyone give a ton of effort today? Yeah, okay, I can work with that. How is everyone's technique? All right, we could be better in some areas, but we did a good job. And then it's just like, when like guys get opportunities and they make the most of them, like route running, getting catches, like tight ends. I think we've had multiple catches on every single day, which has been really good for the tight end room. Yeah. Guys are making plays, and then also like our backup fullback behind Kyle Juszczyk is either Braden Willis or Jake Tungus, and so they're getting all these fullback reps, and they're doing a great job of these fullback reps. And I really appreciate seeing that. And so like the Niners didn't feel like they had to bring in someone that plays fullback to do it because they're doing such a good job of it.
Yeah, kind of H-back, shifty, wide.
Yeah, and I just the strides that the tight end room has taken has been great, and it's been really fun for me to watch that and be part of it.
just for folks, you might know this, but Coach Shanahan's system requires some intellect. So
That it does.
Not having MAs because there's so much motion, and the tight ends are in motion
Yep.
70-some% of the time at least.
Very much so.
So you're moving, and the defense is shifting, and getting assignments right it's not easy. And so
It's tough.
it takes a year or two in the system to kind of get all that together.
But yeah, so it's been fun. You know, Coach Fleury's doing a great job coaching these guys, coaching us all up, and making sure we're on all of our stuff, because the room and the MAs and stuff like that is a reflection of him, and so I think he's doing a fantastic job of that.
Getting everybody educated, yeah.
Yep.
And what happens when a room is able to stack great days in a row? What happens?
They elevate as a room, and the thing is too that not like you might not know from the outside is like every position room, while like you're competing inside your position room for like however many, let's just say last year we had 4 tight ends and then 1 on practice squad. So like while we have, sorry, my friend's Andy's calling me. Andy, you've made the podcast. But like while like there's only, let's say there's only 5 spots in the room and there's 7 tight ends in the room. While you're competing with those 7 tight ends, you're also competing with other position groups. Like who would we rather have as our 4th tight end, or are they our 2nd string punt guy?
Right.
Like punt block, punt return, kickoff return. So like they're competing with all these other position groups. So like you want to prove that you have this value, that like you're too good to get released.
Yeah.
And so you're competing with every other position group. And so I think our guys have done a very good job of that. They've understood that, and so they're taking advantage of all the reps, whether it's special teams or offense.
Yeah.
And they're doing a good job.
So there's each position gets to keep. So like receivers typically 6 or 7.
I have no idea. It's different every year.
Yeah, but I mean, so they might keep 1 more O lineman, or they might keep 1 more D lineman, and so when you have to get to that 53 number, there's a lot of pushing and shoving, and who you can keep, and then the practice squad. So
Yep.
guys are all fighting for a job and trying to kind of keep that up. So, all right, so you talked about bringing great energy,
Yep.
attitude, and effort, and if you're doing all those things,
It works for me. I can work with it.
yeah, everything kind of goes from there. So, okay.
I can work with it.
All right, let's see. So we're off to the Titans. What are we thinking? Do we know our starters going, or do we?
No idea.
No yet. Okay. Not very many will play though.
No idea.
We don't know. There you go. The uncertainty of the NFL. So we are in that.
Football.
So let's see. We got the Titans, and then New Orleans, and then end up at Las Vegas, right?
Yep.
Okay. So those are preseason games, and we'll see how that goes. And I'm not huge on the preseasons. Do you like when, where you go there and spend an extra day or 2 and do the workouts and the scrimmages? With
Like a joint practice?
Yeah, the joint practice stuff. It seems like better than a preseason game.
Oh, I mean, I'd rather joint practice than play in a preseason game.
Yeah, okay.
Because like I've never played more than like 10 snaps in a preseason game besides like my rookie season.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'd rather get joint practices so you get good work in.
Because then you get different bodies. And
Yeah. The only thing that's tough about joint practices is, for us as just being a Niner watching, is one thing I like. It's good, and it like we don't game plan for these joint practices ever.
Right.
Like here's our install that we've done, and we're going to call our install.
Right.
And that's what we're going to do. And we've done joint practices against teams who have game planned us, so they would beat us in these joint practices.
Right.
And it's just that's crazy, guys. It's crazy.
Kind of silly.
It's kind of silly.
They don't matter.
It doesn't matter. You're just trying to get good reps. And there's teams that we've gone against who have completely game planned it and like had like a defensive adjustments for certain things. And you're just like, guys, just line up and like let's just practice. Just play football. So that's been kind of funny. So that's the only thing I know. Like I like how we don't game plan.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Like, hey, just go out and run our plays.
Yeah.
And then the game plan stuff will come, like, when the season starts. But when you don't game plan and someone else does game plan, it really sucks.
Right.
Like you will sometimes look like you just do the offense, or like whoever's getting game plan, like you just don't look good because you look unprepared. Yeah. No matter how hard you play, no matter the effort you play.
Because you're not prepared.
Because you're not. Yeah.
You're not going to put the energy and time into
which is
ramping up for a practice.
Yeah. So that part's crazy. But like if you're going against good teams like that know how to practice and stuff like that, that's great. And the last couple, I think we've done a good job with that. Coach Shanahan has a very good absolutely no fighting rule.
Yeah.
So, and that goes both ways. So fights usually kept to, it's more of a punch thing. Like don't throw a punch, because if you throw a punch in a football game, you're ejected anyways.
And you might break your hand.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that ever, please. But no, I'm looking forward to the joint practice next week against the Saints. It'll be fun.
Okay.
I get to see a lot of my guys. I get to see my guy Foster Moreau. You are a coward with no merit. He'll understand that. You're a coward with no merit. That's what he said to me at Tight End U when I didn't want to go out with him one night.
Oh. That's tough.
It's a great line. I really respect it.
Okay, let's just, how about, I know it's a long ways off, just how about Monday Night Football against the Jets?
No idea. I'm focused on the Tennessee Titans.
I understand that, but
Don't ask me any future questions.
Okay, any of the future. Okay.
But I just want to say thanks so much for having me on Hidden Pearls. This is my off day, and we've been rolling for a little bit, and I really appreciate you guys. I know do we have any questions for George?
Oh, no, she didn't send me because we weren't sure.
Ooh, that's tough. So we're going to try to record another podcast this weekend. So hopefully we'll have some of those for you guys to ask me. Besides that, thank you for listening. Thank you for catching up with George and Bruce.
Okay, and I think that's everything we've got. Just other things to be looking for. I've got Ed Kelsey coming up on the Mindful Parenting, so we got a podcast scheduled with him. I think I'm recording this week.
That's cool.
So that's really good. And then we have a really great group up in Sacramento that we're doing. Still working on the date, but within the next 2 weeks, they run an organization called Weed for Warriors.
Yep.
And so put medical marijuana out for folks that way. And we've got Ed McCaffrey lined up for September.
Oh.
So we're just doing kind of
Kelsey Bro's dad and the McCaffrey Bro's dad.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
It should be pretty cool.
That's cool.
Might have a little group thing later. So anyway, just take a look for that and then check out all the new content on the Hidden Pearl Studio. And we appreciate everybody. George, we love. So anyway, super fun. I'm here for the week, and I get to go to some practices, and I'm excited about all that. And it's just great to be around football, and it's fun to be alive. So it's good stuff. So anyway, namaste, be well. If you need meditation, mindful, or movement, we've got it all in the Hidden Pearl Studio. So go check us out. And thank you for joining us.
Bye.